Hello. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is me, NOOR, ZAHIRA, and you all are very welcome to the exit plan of GOHASH Bengaluru. So today we will be talking to you all about reforms and strategies to kickstart the economy of India, as well as talk about the new lockdown 4.0's norms and regulations and all the guidelines that have been told by the Ministry of Home Affairs. So joining with us on board is Mr. Sasikanth Senthil, who is a former IAS officer. We welcome you, sir.
Hi, hello everybody.
Hi, sir. So,
Hello,
sir,
Zaira.
yes, sir. So, sir, tell us the audience a little about yourself, sir.
Okay, so my name is Sasikanth Senthil. I was an IAS officer with the government of Karnataka. I joined service in 2008, and then I worked in various capacities in the government. I was primarily the most important positions that I held was I held the post of CEO of Shimoga. Then I was Deputy Commissioner of Chitradurga, after which I became the Deputy Commissioner of Raichur. Then finally I was Deputy Commissioner of Mangalore. And in 2019, I had resigned my position as I had some ideological differences with the union government. And now I am full-time sort of working with the people's movements and trying to work on certain issues. This is in
All right.
short.
That is really nice. So, I mean, administrative services are something that was always looked upon. How has the, lockdown affected you on a personal level?
Yeah, I'm quite used to working very heavily in the service, so I feel a little down that I'm not able to, actively contribute in this time of the need. But that is it. So one has to go through it. But otherwise, there is a lot of opportunity to act like a bridge between certain. There are a lot of people working in this area. So since I've worked in government and I know a lot of NGOs and also civil society,
Yeah.
I play the role of the bridge, to sort of get things working.
All right. So, sir, if considering if you were an IAS officer and still working with the government of Karnataka, what changes would have you opted so that the guidelines would have been more effective, or any other measure that could have been more effective in terms to curb the COVID-19?
Yeah, this is slightly, a very not a very straightforward answer because the world is seeing this COVID for this pandemic for the first time. I have heard a lot of people talk about pandemics, but we really didn't bother about it actually too much. We thought that that
Correct.
day will never come.
India was at bay.
Yeah, when it was at bay, and we never thought or prepared for it, even though a lot of people knew it was a very big possibility. So having considering that factor, I was deputy commissioner till the month of August and September. I have also managed a lot of disaster type of situation in Dakshin Kannada because it is a very disaster prone
Flood prone
district
area.
because of flood prone areas and things like that. So my experience there will have has always kept me a month or two ahead of what is going to come. So that's the way I think when I sit in that seat. What is going to come next to 2 months ahead. So we better prepare and plan for it. Having seen this pandemic, this came very gradually, and there was a lot of time for all of us to see and notice it. But I think we never did it. But countries like South Korea, which had the experience of SARS and MERS, they reacted very quickly. So I think probably first thing I would have done is to sort of understand the importance of this, because just before that we had faced Nipah in Kerala, and
Yeah,
Nipah,
Kerala.
Kasargod had a border with Dakshin Kannada, so we had an experience of that particular situation. So I think I would have been, slightly be wary of these things, these pandemics and things like that. That is one thing I thought we should have done. Very
Okay.
clearly, China announced it to the world I think it was December 30th or 31st, you know.
Yeah.
And from then onwards, we had the month of January, we had the month of February. Even in the month of February, I think around 80,000 infections were there, and 3,000 people were dead all over the world. And we were having a great
Mhm.
Trump welcome in the country, with 5 lakh people
All
gathering
right.
in one
Yeah.
stadium.
In
And
the March.
in
Yes.
March, yeah, in February end, I suppose, that period.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, yes.
it's absolutely, people were clueless, the governments were clueless. I think that's a major,
Mhm.
major, major issue that we could not, reverse. So that is
Yeah.
one thing I think would
So
have been there.
yeah. So sir, speaking of the virus and its spread, one incident that we saw right after during the Trump's visit was the Delhi riots, and post that there has been a lot of communalization of the virus. The whole issue is kind of getting the communal air within the country. What do you think is the reason for the same?
See, I had already mentioned I had some ideological differences with the union government. I find this government um, sort of pitching hate as the primary investment inside the society to gain their
Okay.
political objectives. And this is not
Mm-hmm.
new to the world. This is how these authoritarian sort of totalitarian governments work.
Mm-hmm.
They pitch people against each other so that politically they gain an advantage. So any issue is always turned in that angle so that you will always do the othering of a particular group and try to get a political mileage. So that is what is
Mm-hmm.
happening, and it is very sad. It can't go below this. When the whole
Mm-hmm.
world is facing an existential crisis, and you use that also to push your political this thing. It's like very sad, and
True.
I think in a way I made a right decision, not working for this government.
All right. All right. Not getting at your decision, but talking about another decision that the government took, that was promoting or relaxing the norms for alcohol shops and liquor shops across the country. Post which we saw there was a double spike in increase of cases in India, as well as people standing in long queues without really maintaining any social distancing, without masks. Where I did read the guidelines, and the first guideline that said is if you're leaving your house, the fine should be 1,000 rupees for the first instance, and for the second instance, 1,000 rupees onwards. I don't really think there is enough data to support the number of fine that the government has collected through people not wearing masks in the alcohol long queues and lines.
Yeah. Yeah, Zahira, I absolutely understand. Having worked in government, I know how system works. It's not easy for the government, to. I think right now they are still, confused. They still have
Hmm.
not put their acts together. I think we will require a lot of leadership now, lot of assurances, and lot of working together, to bring systems in place. And
Sir, I will
yeah,
stop you right there.
yeah.
Talking of assurances, today afternoon, the finance minister took a dig at Rahul Gandhi and told that at times of a pandemic, two parties should work together. Just because he made a comment 2 days ago saying that, instead of making special plans, why don't you actually reach out to migrants and help them out? So she took a dig and said that you don't have to tell that. Instead, go help them out, or it's a time when two parties have to work. Do you really think there's scope for politics in India to have a unitarian, platform and work together?